One of the things in sitting in this room that I love is this photo of Minnie Pearl right here. And Minnie was my favorite memories growing up with my grandparents on the farm in Kentucky that we still have was that my parents would ship us off every single weekend. And my grandfather, the only place he ever wanted to go out to eat that wasn't my grandmother's cooking was Cracker Barrel. And so every Saturday night after we'd been running around on the farm all day long, it's still my favorite, most treasured place in the world.
I love that.
Where life, when I walk on it, just even if life doesn't make sense, it just all makes sense when I walk on that farm. And so anyway, every Saturday night, we would have to go to the Cracker Barrel, and then we would go home and watch Hee Haw. And so when I walked in, I was like, I love it, one, because I just love Minnie, and that's what I grew up on. But also just because of the example that she always was in Nashville and kind of bridging that gap between the music business and the philanthropic side of this community and the way that she served so much. And I know that she's been an inspiration. She was a friend to you as well, right?
I met her for the first time when she came and spoke to our, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. I went to Innsworth. And she spoke at our closing exercises, which was like their 8th grade graduation. And I remember at the time, I mean, of course I knew who she was. I had been to the Grand Ole Opry. But when she spoke, it was really, it was riveting. And she got on the stage, not as Minnie Pearl, but as Sarah Cannon. Mm-hmm. And she was so engaging, respectful, encouraging. And I mean, all of us, we're 8th graders. We all kind of sat up a little taller. And I can't remember what she said now, but I just remember feeling like this is a voice that I want to have in my ear my whole life. And then as I started doing things, she had this peach-colored stationery, and she would just write maybe 2 sentences and sign it Minnie. But like, I saw you on such and such, great job, Minnie. And I wish I had kept all those. I don't think I kept one of them. I know.
But that kind of wrecks my heart a little bit.
I know. But it was that peach stationery.
Yeah.
And just a line or two. Yeah, it doesn't take much, but it was, I felt encouraged and seen by her, and it made me want to make the most of the opportunities and laugh at myself, One time...
She's hysterical.
Yes. One time we were changing clothes, both of us, in a powder room at the house where I used to live on Moran Road. And Minnie and Ashley Cleveland, the Fairfield Four, and myself, there might have been somebody else, maybe Paul Overstreet, but we were raising money for Swing for Sight. So that is the charity in Nashville that, it's always the old guard will look at the 20 and 30-somethings going, come on, step up.
Right. Right.
Come on. It's
We've all paid our dues.
It's time for you. First thing you're going to do is eyesight for the children in Tennessee, and so, but there was so much going on there at the house and in the yard. And so Minnie and I both kind of squirreled away into this tiny half bath. And we were changing clothes. And so I'm not even sure surely there were other rooms in the house, but I guess not. And then, I grew up in a family that was fairly modest, and so I'm trying, I've got my back to her, and she said, well, would you look at this? And so I turn around, and she's naked from the waist up. And she said, I'm old everywhere, but I'm 17 from here to here. And she had her hand on her collarbones and right above her belly button, talking about her reconstructed breasts because she had breast cancer. I'm old everywhere else, but I'm 17 from here to here. And she just was highlighting her chest.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I know. And I just, oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah. So.
What do you feel like, was there a piece of advice, or what do you feel like you learned most from her?
I think what we wanted to ask about this was we see you living out her example in a lot of ways.
Oh, man.
Well, because I think about, we were talking about this the other day. Like, I was there the other night at Thistle Farms at the fundraiser, which is one of my favorite events every year. And I love Thistle Farms so much. And I know they were honoring you that night for your work with Thistle Farms. And Becca Stevens is like one of those people that I'm like, if I could just have dinner with like Oprah, Brene Brown, and Becca.
Or Amy Grant.
Oh, and Amy
Written
Grant.
by Amy.
But just, I think what she's built and seen a need in this community of women in trying to serve and love women that are coming out of prostitution and sex trafficking and addiction, and just seeing the way when we really pour in and just love people and meet them right where they are, the transformation and beauty that can happen. And so, for you, I think that's kind of what we're talking about, and just in being in this community and serving this community so well, and showing up and loving other people. Like, how is Minnie an example for you in that?
I think the biggest thing I saw in her and learned from her, she just treated everybody the same.
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing. And she was approachable all the time. She might not have on her Minnie Pearl hat, but I saw her in black tie social settings. I saw her at the Opry. I saw her at a sound check. And she just treated everybody the same.
Yeah.
And so, she's quoted many times as telling other performers, love your audience, they'll love you back. But that didn't appear to be a switch she turned off and on. I think she just was open-hearted and kind-hearted with people in general. And so, she just kicked it up a notch when she was on stage. And just laughing. I think about how, she and Henry never had kids.
Yeah.
And so I don't recall her ever even talking about that. But, she just kind of made the whole world her kid.